Public access is also available by telephone by using the call-in numbers posted on the meeting agenda, and tonight's meeting will be broadcast on the city's YouTube channel online. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Leidy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lukman Haramasa will be absent. Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Jaramillo.
Here.
Councilmember Kondo.
Here.
Councilmember Roper will be absent. Councilmember Goff.
Here.
Councilmember Nowicki.
Here.
Councilmember Walker.
Here.
Thank you.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Manager Guyer, are there any responses to resident inquiry?
Nothing this evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Nope. Okay. Public invited to be heard. This is an opportunity for public comment on any item not set for public hearing. Statements are limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Statements must be related to city business and limited to matters of community interest. City Clerk Small, is there anyone signed up to speak to council?
Yes, Madam Mayor, there are 4 people signed up in advance. The first individual on the list is Beth McElry.
Great, welcome. Please state your name and address or ward and provide your comments to council.
So hopefully you can see me.
Woo!
Or maybe hear me. Okay. So I'm Beth McElry. I'm in Ward 2, and I wanted to offer some reflections on Thanksgiving. With deepest gratitude, we are the inheritors of a great and enduring nation. Let it be known that on this Thanksgiving Day, we pause to thank our dear Heavenly Father for the people whose courage, sacrifice, and steadfast devotion to liberty forged the country we call home. We give thanks to God for the pilgrims and early settlers, men and women who, in pursuit of freedom and opportunity, braved perilous seas and harsh winters, planting the early seeds of self-government and community in the New World. We give thanks to God for the foundations of the United States, the founders of the United States, those who debated boldly, wrote passionately, and pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to the cause of independence. Their dedication gave rise to the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the enduring ideals of liberty and equality. We give thanks to God for all who came before us, upon whose shoulders we now stand, those who faced obstacles, trials, challenges, which we can't begin to imagine or probably endure. Let us not waste their sacrifices and the legacy that they worked to bring about people from different countries, traditions, cultures, and viewpoints, and bind us together to make us one nation under God. Let us offer a special prayer of thanksgiving for all those who serve our country, the military, the police, firefighters, past and present, who have risked and sometimes given their lives to protect our country, preserve our liberty, ensure the safety of our communities. As Abraham Lincoln declared at the establishment of a national Thanksgiving in 1863, in the midst of a horrific civil war, he says, "They are the gracious gifts of Most High God. I do therefore invite my fellow citizens to set apart and observe a day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father who dwelleth in the heavens." So I wish you all a blessed and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Beth.
The next person on the list is Tom Lampo.
Good evening. Please state your name and address or ward and provide your comments to council.
All right, thank you very much. Tom Lampo, 3951 Jackson Way. Hello to Northglenn. Hello to everybody in front of me. I'm here to lift up Northglenn to the Lord in prayer. So please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, we ask that you would be with us in Northglenn and wherever we go as we live our lives. Guide us in thought and deed. Be our provider, be our protector, be our comforter in time of need, but most of all, be the God of Colossians 1:16. For by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him. You existed before time. Nothing can match your ingenuity, your love, your glory. You are the divine author of our lives and the source of our existence. There is nothing, whether physical or spiritual, or any human authority that escapes your touch. You play an active role in our lives because the order and purpose of everything is for your glory. Let us glorify your name. The times we live in are unique to any other times in history. The stakes are higher now than in any time before. It's a time of reversals, a time of bondage to freedom. But we're all in different places in our walk with you, and for some, the path to freedom isn't clear. We live in a spiritual darkness, void of the freedom available to us. Your word is not alive in us, but your word is for all of us. Your word is truth and you cannot lie. In Romans 2:11 it states, "For God shows no partiality." We'll claim that for our lives, giving us every promise, every blessing you have. You look upon us all the same. We just need to ask and receive. Then in 2 Corinthians 4:6 it states, "For God, who said, 'Let light shine out of darkness,' made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ." Your light is knowledge and understanding, and with it, we can overcome the spiritual darkness we live in. Bless us with knowledge and understanding. Open our eyes, change our hearts, so that we may know you and be released from the bondage that holds us back. You are our God, and we are your people. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
The next person on the list is Melissa Ryan.
Hello. Please state your name and address or ward and provide your comments to council.
Melissa Ryan, Ward 3. I just came today because I can't make the next public invited to speak or heard to speak. And I wanted to make sure I came to thank Jay for his time here on council. You're going to be really missed. I hope to see some awesome artwork from you in the future, so good luck out there. And also to Mr. Walker. Man, having a voice on council that actually listens to the people and responds respectfully and in such a willful way has meant a lot to me. So thank you very much for that. That brings me to, I did write Representative Kondo and Goff and the city manager, Heather, earlier this week, just to get in support of CR 54. I know I've already said it once and twice or whatever. Again, just throwing my support, and please listen to everybody's voices that are really asking for this. I know you guys support us in this matter as well. A little disappointed. I wish I would have heard from Goff and her input because she did not answer yet again to me. So I really hope in the future, a lot of our representatives, especially the newly elected, will take the people's voices that come to speak, email, text, find you on social media, and really reach out to your constituents and listen to us and listen to our voices. Even if we're not in your ward, I am not in Mr. Walker's ward, but he would always reach out to me and help in regards, especially to serious matters. So even if you're not our direct ward representatives, it means a lot when you guys actually listen to us and help us. So I hope in the future you guys do that. Have a blessed Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, friends, time, whatever. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
The last person on the list is Katie McKinney.
Hi, please state your name and address or ward and provide your comments to council.
Hello. All right, let's try that. Hello, I'm Katie, and I live in Ward 1. I'd like to take a moment to express my sincere appreciation for Councilman Walker of Ward 1. Thank you for your time, energy, and dedication you've invested in serving the people of Northglenn. Public service isn't easy. It takes patience, commitment, and a genuine desire to make our community better. You've shown all of that and more. Whether it's listening to residents' concerns, helping guide important decisions, or working to strengthen the future of our city, Your efforts truly make a difference. I'm grateful for your willingness to step up, to lead, and to represent our community with integrity. I also want to acknowledge and commend your courage when it comes to financial responsibility. You have never hesitated to hold our city accountable to its budget, and you've shown that you are not afraid to withhold approval when a proposed plan doesn't align with what the taxpayers expect or deserve. That kind of principled leadership matters, and it reflects a deep respect for the community you serve. As your partner, I am incredibly proud to watch you grow, to see your passion and action, and to witness the impact you're making across Northglenn. Your work on improving safety, particularly through the safety speed zones, will leave a lasting impact, not just on Ward 1, but on all 4 wards. It's one of the many examples of the thoughtful, meaningful contributions you have brought to this city. I also want to take a moment to thank Jay for his service over the past 4 years. His commitment to the community and his dedication to highlighting and supporting the arts in Northglenn have brought a special and meaningful dimension to this city. His efforts have helped strengthen the culture of our community, and his contributions will continue to be appreciated for years to come. Nicholas Walker, thank you for your dedication, your accountability, and your heart for Northglenn. I am so proud of you, and this community is better because of the work you've done. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who did not have a chance to sign up that would like to speak to council? No? Okay. We are going to move to proclamations. And if council would join me down front. So I would like to invite Anita Adam, owner of Second Time Sports. She's going to accept this proclamation. Second Time Sports won the Northglenn Spirit Award at the recent Business Appreciation event. Nice to see you again. Come on up. Thank you. All right. Whereas small businesses are a vital part of Northglenn's economy, contributing to the city's character, economic resilience, and employment base. And whereas small businesses make up more than 99% of all U.S. businesses and employ nearly half of the nation's private sector workforce, underscoring their central role in building strong local economies. And whereas Small Business Saturday was established to encourage residents nationwide to support independent retailers and service providers during the holiday season, and has grown into a widely celebrated movement. And whereas Northglenn is home to a vibrant and diverse community of entrepreneurs, family-owned enterprises, and locally rooted companies that provide exceptional service, strengthen local supply chains, and reinvest their earnings within the community. And whereas the City of Northglenn recently launched the Keep It Local Northglenn campaign to highlight the value of supporting neighborhood businesses, promote shopping and dining locally, and reinforce the importance of sales tax revenue that sustains essential city services. And whereas this local initiative aligns closely with the spirit of Small Business Saturday and provides a timely opportunity to encourage residents to explore and support Northglenn's unique business community. And whereas by choosing to shop, dine, and do business locally, Northglenn residents help preserve jobs, promote innovation, and ensure that neighborhood commercial areas remain active, welcoming, and prosperous. Now, therefore, I, Meredith Leidy, Mayor of the City of Northglenn, Colorado, do hereby proclaim November 29th, 2025 as Shop Small Saturday in the City of Northglenn, and encourage all residents and visitors to participate in Shop Small Saturday and in the Keep It Local Northglenn campaign on this day and throughout the entire year. Dated at Northglenn, Colorado, this 24th day of November, 2025. So you're accepting our proclamation, but would you like to add anything?
Absolutely, thank you. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, council members, and thank you, public. And I don't think people understand how important sometimes the local people talking to their friends and their family to come into the small shops, because we're not only employing your neighbors, we are keeping our money in the Northglenn area, and we want to see Northglenn thrive. It is such a wonderful community that you have here. And our little shop, we're Second Time Sports, and we're a very family-oriented shop. Our customers we see from the time that they're little kids until the point that we've now been there long enough where we have people bringing their children in. So it really is community, and it's what all small shops, after a while, they get to know your names. They know you when you come in. They know your kids. And isn't that a lot more pleasant to go shopping at a place like that than some place that they don't really even want to bother helping you? So shop small, keep us in business, keep us around.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a picture right over there.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Oh, please do. It's rental season. We are going to get snow. Oh, thank you. Bye now. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. We have a presentation this morning, our Community Co-Production Policing Advisory Board Annual Report. So I would like to welcome Board Chair Richard Volk. He will present the board's update to council.
Thank you, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, thank you for your time. Following all of those wonderful words of thanks, I have to say thank you to Councilman Walker and Councilman Harmio for your service. It is an ongoing endeavor, this public service thing that we choose to do, and I wish you the best as you make your next steps. That said, I couldn't help but be reflective of the things I have to be thankful for. One of those is the foundation of this board, the Community Co-Production Policing Advisory Board. We are a very unique board in that there's not really anything like us. It's not a true police advisory board. It is not a true, for lack of a better term, oversight board. What we do is we investigate and look into things that come to us through the public, come to us through comments, come to us through outreach. And so we speak on those things and we look into them. Specifically, many members of this board, or of this council, excuse me, put this together, and this is our purpose as it's written, to provide the City Council with an annual report. That's why I'm here today. My apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself. And so while we are required to do this once a year, I have to say we should probably do this more. With that, we've had our membership flux a little bit. In particular, Kevin Flynn has taken an at-large position that was vacated. Kevin has immediately made his presence known and has been well received with some of his great initiatives and wonderful comments. to the board and some valuable insights coming from, well, a retirement. He's retired now, but from a career in law enforcement. I've often found sometimes the folks that have retired from a particular profession can be the harshest critics. And at the same time, it's with a good intent. It's never with an ill intent. So I very much enjoy that embodiment that Kevin is bringing to us, and the wisdom that he is sharing with our board and some of the ways that we are able to look at things. Other members on our board, newish member was Natasha Adler. She was not able to be here tonight. As a matter of fact, the only person that's here for my backup is Beth. She spoke earlier. Stand up, Beth. Say hi. That's Beth standing. Sorry. Beth and I have a kind of a ribbing relationship, I feel like. This purpose of this board and these members, this is what we've kind of come to. We are, sorry, I'm stepping away from the microphone. Build connection, understanding between police and community. What we kind of took from that is we wanted to build a bridge. And so that's what we've been striving to do. Increase communication, increase transparency, increase cohesion of message. So part of that is the way our police force is set up. They're set up as a community-oriented police force, which means a lot of their stuff does not work without participation of the citizens. And to do that, there's a lot of trust that has to be built. And thankfully, I guess, what we've come to find is that a lot of trust exists already with our police department. So we get to bolster instead of rebuild, which is fantastic. I don't know if anyone in this room has taken on a major construction project, but most people have done a renovation. And renovations can run on for a while, but at the end, they're very useful and very wonderful. Definitely improve what we're doing. This is the ordinance 1802. It's developed in 2020. I don't mean to give you all a history lesson. I just want to have this out there for the public record. I believe most of the members of this board are familiar with what we do. So we want to enhance the public trust and really ensure that diversity and equity in public safety is taken into account. In particular, how does it affect citizens? In particular, as an equal reciprocal relationship, how does it affect police? How does it enhance officer safety and therefore the safety of the community as well? We want to make sure that nobody's kind of getting pushed into it. So these are kind of the advisory activities that we've taken on in the last, I'm going to say 2 years, 18 months. We do a lot of review of the Access Northglenn, the CRM reports, which if you're ever having trouble sleeping, they are great. Most of them are very, well, thankfully mundane. They're expired license tags, barking dogs, police applicants. But there's a few that come up and they need inspection and they need revision and they need discussion. Now, the trouble with the CRM reports review is that we do a lot of things that are still under active investigation. So we have to kind of follow up on them numerous times because we're not in a position to interfere with any investigation, nor do we want to be. Safety sensitive zones, those were brought up earlier as legacy pieces from this council. Thank you for those. Those have been wonderful in the areas that they are. They are having a large impact on traffic in those particular spots. We do some advisory extracurriculars with command staff interviews. We've been a part of recent sergeant promotions, lieutenant promotions, and I can feel him back here, Deputy Chief Rice. I believe we were a part of that one as well. So someday he'll forgive me. But moving on from that, we look at the animal control, the vehicle complaints. We actually had a presentation from Cheyenne Warren, one of the animal control officers here in Northglenn. And she kind of helped me understand what she does and how some of these things kind of linger. That is a department where there's only 1 or 2 people that are running that whole thing. So I would advise this council to maybe look into that with the chiefs and find what that could be. But those are the advisory activities that we've been taking on so far. We'll get to a point where we're going to be looking towards the future. We'll revisit some of these. Things that we've done, things that we are doing for outreach. One of the things that became apparent to us through one of our members, Isan Rihahi, was that a lot of folks that have immigrated to the United States and Northglenn in particular may not necessarily feel comfortable with the police or understand the languages that they've been suddenly immersed into, whether by choice or by unfortunate circumstances of being a refugee or something along those lines. So we put these together. These are just some emergency card magnets. They come in the 3 languages that you see up there, but it's something that helps folks understand. You know, I remember as a kid of the 80s that we would have a phone list in an emergency tree, and I think a lot of that's gone away with the cellular phones and that kind of thing. But this was something that we thought we could do. People still use refrigerators that are magnets, so we thought this would be a good way for them to be able to at least understand their cross streets and be able to communicate. In terms of communication, we found that we were lacking severely in some graphic cohesion. Now, we'd done quite a few events with our name, but we hadn't really put together logos. So we put together this logo, and this ended up being kind of our winner. I'm going to say because it's the bridge that we've kind of turned people into. Jay, I see you nodding with your artist's eye. I very much appreciate that because I think my artistry could fill a thimble and have space. So thank you very much. I'm glad to see that one, see you all. Something else we did, kind of build a team between the city and the police officers. We sponsored these police trading cards. These are kind of a fun little thing. I've seen these before, not necessarily for police officers, but even for baseball players and that kind of thing. This was a fun little thing that I actually remember from when I was in high school. Our CRO, our community resource officer, had his own little card. And it was a fun little picture, and it gave you a little communication about him. And this was something that we thought would be fun, just kind of collect them all. Quite frankly, having a motorcycle police officer named Calvin Hawk is something straight out of a Marvel comic book. That is fantastic. So these are the kind of things that we wanted to have. As you can see, we have Cheyenne up there and quite a few other wonderful officers. This was something that we really liked, kind of building into that youth demographic and building some safety with them. We do have a youth position available. So if you know anyone, anyone that wants to be a part of city and reviewing police advisory, please let me know. Well, our wonderful clerk liaison, Holly, she's here. A lot of this wouldn't happen without Holly, so I need to make sure that I thank Holly. Thank you, Holly. Oops. Blue envelope program. This was something that kind of developed in conversation parallel with the magnets that we did. This blue envelope is, well, let's be honest, it's kind of growing like wildfire. I can't say that we made up this idea. I can't say that we ran it to completion as quickly as we could because we saw a need here. This creates a similar thing to the emergency contact magnets where you can have your information there, you can have your conversation, you can have your pieces in there. And we had some of these done up in stickers for other languages. The police department has access to a translate line, but that only works if you know what language you need to translate from. So this is something that would help with that. It is also a key portion for folks that have autistic family members that may be in vehicles. And quite frankly, I wish I had had this when I was 16 and got pulled over because I couldn't talk at all. So this was something that we've rolled out. We're going to be continuing to sponsor and run this program and pushing this forward. I did see that the easel and the cards are still here at City Council. It's wonderful to see them there. our plan is to start reaching out to some of these schools with this as well. City participation, city events, Safe Street Halloween, the fishing derby, several of the ward meetings we have attended. We try to bring popcorn to the ward movie nights and concert evenings. These are things that we really would like to do. We've used some of our funds to sponsor, like the Safe Street Halloween had a need for candy. So we wanted to make sure that we're building these events to be as best as they can, as good as they can, and that we are a positive influence and our presence is a positive one. Speaking of positive presence, one of the things that we had noticed was organically, Northglenn has a high capita of Halloween decorators. Sadly, they didn't have an award. They had very few. So it was kind of neat that everybody was doing this, but the thought was, you know, the people that enjoy this are the folks that are on the street, people that are commuting, people that are driving, also our patrolmen and women. They get to enjoy some of this, sometimes better than the rest of us, because it may be late at night when one of these things jumps out at them. So we decided we wanted to include them in part of the voting process as well as the community at large. We have an award for each ward, and then we have a best overall award that we give out. So this is just a quick summary of everything we did. Did anyone have any questions or follow-ups that we wanted to review, some of these things that we've done? Okay. I know I tend to talk fast, so I wanted to pause here. Looking ahead to even this year, we're going to be making a donation to Christmas Crusade, making sure that children in need do get presents. We usually do a donation of gift cards so that they can be sponsored that way. A lot of times we'll call that the tween demographic, kind of gets overlooked in a lot of this stuff, and we wanted to make sure that there was enough gifts or some gifts from us to them. Blue chip program. This one's kind of heavy and hard to get through. The idea of the blue chip program is we are distributing and printing poker chips that will have QR codes for mental health. These will be found with the police department and also being distributed through the police department. So we think this is an important part of how we can make sure that we are taking care of also our citizens, but our police department as well. The best way I've ever heard it put is a police officer from the time they punch in to the time they punch out typically deals with people on their worst days. And I can't see how that wouldn't grate on you. So we wanted to make sure that we were at least giving them a way to reach out if they needed help, if they wanted help, or if they came in contact with someone that they thought could help, could use the help, whether it was a citizen or another person. I know our awesome crew handles a lot of these things now, but they don't get everything. Looking ahead into 2026, we're going to start looking at some police policies and making some recommendations. Hot button recently in the news I saw was flock cameras. We've been discussing this for a little bit before, and we'll be looking at that policy as well as the drone policy. For those of you that may not know, the police department does use a drone. Hopefully I'm not giving away any secrets. I think it's pretty public. And just the policy around that would probably be well served for the entire city. So we wanted to look into those. Board initiatives, we're definitely, like I said, going to continue that blue envelope program. Playing cards, we like them, but we want other people to like them. So as we start to get word that maybe we've gone through those, we'll definitely look into keeping that one rolling. And then the community outreach pieces where we're bolstering current city events. I'm going to jump to one along the city events. Our goals for 2026 is to host our own CCPP events. So it will be more specific to what we're doing. Not everybody at Pirate Fest wants to talk about the Northglenn Police Department. Not everybody at the movie or the concert wants to talk about some issue that they've had with the police department. So we're going to be looking to do some of these outreaches. We're looking for public places to put them on, very open to suggestions as far as geolocation. We've done a few with the rec center, in particular towards the theater end of things. We're going to try and look for something that's got some more foot traffic for our next ones. And all of this is in a goal, of course, to build the bridge between the community and law enforcement, and make the city that we love, the city that we live in, better for everyone. And then the obligatory questions. I continue to be outvoted on getting rid of this questions slide, so it is here, and I am here.
Councilmember Jaramillo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate the giving thanks to me and also Councilmember Walker. Appreciate that first. Do appreciate I like the logo. It's very cool. A bridge between the broader community and law enforcement. So it definitely depicts what we're doing, what you guys are doing here. Really cool thing that you guys are doing is the police trading cards, because I remember when I was a kid, I would go to police and get free Rockies cards, and it helped create that trust with police as a young child and stuff. So I think that's a really cool touch, and it gets adds to the person that's behind the badge. So that's really neat. I like that. Of course, Blue Envelope program's great. Yeah, thanks for also doing the Halloween decorations contest, because I like cruising around and checking them out too. And pretty soon we'll have the Christmas lights. Maybe that's another one you guys do, another contest. So just some thoughts for you guys, but appreciate it and keep up the good work.
Great. Yes, thank you.
Councilmember Walker.
Mr. Volk, I just wanted to commend you on the Blue Envelope program. I think that's a revolutionary idea, and I can't wait to see what you do with the board next. So good job.
Thank you.
Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I too also have to give you accolades on the Blue Envelope program. In fact, I want to spotlight this for the days, as I learned this when I attended a CCP meeting. It really was the CCPP group that provided the seed funding to get that all kicked off. And I think that says a lot about how they are very thoughtful and intentional about spending their resources to making sure that they're doing things that is getting a meaningful return for the buck. No pun intended. But again, thank you for really leaning forward, and I look forward to even greater things coming out of this group.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes, thank you very much. I couldn't do it without my entire board. They are what drives. And I'm sorry, please.
More of the same. I think the board really found its footing this last year, which is really nice to see, with the magnets, the Blue Envelope program, Halloween decorations. It's been a really productive and fruitful year, which has been really nice, and it's been great. And shout out to the city clerk's office for designing the logos too. So Joanna is multifaceted.
It's Holly.
Oh, Holly. See, Holly. Thank you.
So yeah, I got to jump in here because Holly was also our director and video editor for the Blue Envelope rollout. So thank you, Holly.
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue.
Yeah. So thank you so much to the clerk's office as well for and Holly. That's been amazing. But yeah, it's awesome watching this team do all the super cool stuff. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Councilmember Goff.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, just want to echo what everyone else has already said, and just to say to everybody that we really, really appreciate our volunteers. This is, you guys dedicate a lot of your time, and the energy and the creativity and the hard work has really shown off. This is a great presentation, very well put together. You've accomplished a lot this year, so good job.
Thank you.
Okay, I made a list of my favorite things.
Oh, it is almost the season.
There's so many favorite things. You're doing incredible work. I appreciate your leadership. I've watched you blossom over the last couple of years, and that's been really fun for me too. I love the logo. I love all the outreach work that you're doing. Very intentional and focused outreach work. Trading cards are super fun. The Halloween awards are awesome. I do like the idea of adding other holidays. So if that's up for grabs, maybe do that. But it's been fun to watch this group come together and really like hone your focus and live your purpose. And it's been such a wonderful asset. So thank you for your work. And thanks for the update.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, have a good evening.
I don't know how to turn this off, so I'll leave it to.
All right, moving to council communications. We'll start with Councilmember Burns.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you to everyone who spoke. Thank you again for the presentation and who came to receive our proclamation. It was a busy week. We were at NLC. We're going to do a full debrief next week, so I won't bore everybody with that. But a lot of learnings, a lot of really great community building, and finding peers to talk about things, which was fun. And CCPP was my other meeting, and we already got all of the download on that. So again, thank you to everyone. Happy holidays. Also, thank you to staff. This looks amazing. I feel so festive and joyful and happy just sitting here amongst my garland. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Councilmember Walker.
Just want to thank everybody who came out to speak tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Jaramillo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also want to thank everybody who came out and showed appreciation for the service that Councilmember Walker and I have done in the last 4 years. Thank you. And also on November 12th, we did the outside agency funding, which will be addressed later on in this meeting with organizations that are receiving grant funding from the city. November 19th, I attended the ADCOG Regional Collaboration Roundtable Kickoff Meeting at the Waymire Dome. It was really good to meet with different city managers and the new county manager, just to see how everybody's working cohesively, and I'm glad to see that. And finally, just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and thanks again, yes, for staff. This looks wonderful, the entire city hall, and yeah, I love it. I'm getting in the spirit now because it hasn't snowed yet. I feel like it doesn't feel like the end of November, so it's definitely helps. So thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Nowicki.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you again, everyone who spoke, and thank you to Councilmember Walker and Councilmember Jaramillo for your service. Last week, November 17th, I attended the Northglenn Senior Organization Board meeting. Just a quick update there. They will be swearing in new members next month. Also consult their activity calendar. They have quite a few activities coming up as well next month. Also attended the outside agency funding meeting, and you'll hear more about that tonight. Was gone last week for the event, the NLC in Utah, and again, I look forward to giving my update there as well. It was really, again, a great opportunity to connect with people from all across the country, city council members, managers, and really to kind of learn from them and hopefully bring some kind of creative ideas back to the city. So I look forward to kind of sharing some of that. Lastly, looks great in here. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and enjoy time with your families, and take care of yourselves.
Councilmember Goff.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick things. November 18th, I met with the Juneteenth Planning Committee, and I'm not going to, bore people and talk about that too much, or, we're meeting every month pretty much until we get to, but I do want to keep the momentum going, so I'm going to keep mentioning it. And then the other thing was, this last week, I did attend the Northglenn Youth Theater production of Addams Family, which was marvelous. We have so many talented, wonderful young people who perform in these productions, and amazing, dedicated, talented staff that support them and help them. I was very impressed. And then, of course, after we had lunch, because this was through the senior organization, and their city staff were like jumping in to help with that. And also the many of the actors came and served the food and sat with seniors and talked to us like we were people. So it was really fun. I think Northglenn Youth Theater is one of the most amazing programs that we have here in our city. And so I just want to say again, thank you to the staff and everyone involved with that. And just echo what everyone else has said. Thanksgiving is later this week. Hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving that they get to spend with people that they enjoy. Thank you.
Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, yes, thank you, staff, for the wonderful decorations and for fixing the light over here. I feel like I can read everything that I want to in my notes now, although I feel like I'm hiding in the bushes here. I feel like I'm on the boat again. Anyway, also want to recognize the contributions of Council Members Walker and Jaramillo. It's been an honor, a pleasure serving with you gentlemen, and I really learned a great deal from you both. And I do want to recognize that we have prospective Council Member Joshua Shevers in the audience here. So thank you for demonstrating a great deal of enthusiasm and wanting to learn and figure out how to be a productive member of this board. Like Council Members Burns and Nowicki and Mayor Pro Tem, I attended the National League of Cities meeting in Salt Lake City, and obviously there's a lot to learn and bring back, but I do want to kind of break the trend here and just talk about one thing, and that is the Dignity Index. And this was a very useful framework. It's actually created by Professor Tim Shriver of the University of Utah. He happens to be the chair of the Special Olympics. And it's quite interesting. We talk about civility in government, and now that we have seen a lot in terms of things on the political stage with political violence and continued incivility, there is now a new movement afoot to try and change that dynamic by focusing on dignity of every individual, dignity of every person with different political viewpoints. So I hope to be able to share a little bit more information when we do our debrief in December. Going back into October, and this is North Metro Fire related, I want to just harken back to 2015, firefighter, paramedic, Mulianen of Station 62, that's over at Huron, died of cancer. He died after a 2-year battle fighting cancer that was considered line of duty as a result of his work fighting fires. And so every year, North Metro Fire has a memorial to recognize that. And he left behind a wife and 2 children. North Metro Fire continues to be active in those children and their upbringing. And I just have to give my hats off to Chief Dougherty, our new fire chief, as he was the one that spearheaded taking care of, really, this family that was left behind by one of our own. So that's one thing I wanted to spotlight. And also another North Metro Fire piece that I wanted to spotlight was that stations 62 and 63, both Northglenn stations, were part of the main responding forces in a structural fire in Thornton, and they rescued a 90-year-old plus woman who was caught inside that fire, which is really amazing. And as a result of that, they received a meritorious unit commendation from Chief Dougherty. And again, it just, when you talk about a structural fire, it's literally a matter of seconds to be able to go in and rescue somebody. So when we talk about being able to respond within 7 minutes or less, it's just, it's so very vital, and I hope you'll keep that in mind whenever we do talk about fire safety. And then lastly, on fire safety in regards to Thanksgiving. So be careful if you decide that you are going to deep fat fry your turkey. Yes, it sounds like you're not going to do that. But North Metro actually did a demonstration. It was on Fox, and it's a very interesting statistic. On that day alone, on Thanksgiving Day alone, there is a 338% increase in home cooking fires, which is a really shocking statistic. And also, home cooking fires is the second leading cause of home fire deaths in the United States. So I hate to end with doom and gloom, but if anything, just please be mindful and be careful when you are cooking at any time. because we want this to be a joyous season, clearly, and not one of sadness. And that is all that I have to share, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, I have a few things. One, with regards to Thanksgiving, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, but I also want to specifically thank our local food banks and other community partners that are helping our families in need make sure that they have enough food during this Thanksgiving holiday. So thank you to them because they're working very hard. Noel Northglenn is coming up, and so please come to that. It's a great holiday event, and we have a lot of partnerships, especially the Dice Board has brought out some new, a new author, which that'll be really fun. And it's just a great community event. So if you don't have it on your calendar, put that on there. I want to thank Chief May. He joined me today for my Mayor's Monthly Minute filming, and the highlight was about the Christmas Crusade for Children. So we also have donations. We're collecting donations at all of our city buildings. So you can see one in City Hall. There's a container at the Justice Center and the Rec Center. So please donate toys, and then we can gift families in need. So, and then also just thank you to the police department for hosting the Christmas Crusade once again. It's a beautiful event, and it's a lot of work. So thank you to them. I will be gone the 2nd through the 4th. I'm attending once again the North American Mayors Summit against anti-Semitism. So that is coming up in December, so I will be there. Colorado Gives Day, I want to do a quick little plug for that. This year it is on December 9th, and that is an opportunity for everyone to donate to a local nonprofit that they would like to support. So you can go, just Google Colorado Gives Day 2025, and you'll find the website, and it lists all of the organizations. And I think that is, what?
Northglenn Community Foundation is one of those.
Oh, and the Northglenn Community Foundation is one of those. That's great. It's a Colorado Gives Day. There's so many, but definitely pick one that speaks to your heart. Okay, that is all I have. City Clerk Small?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do not have any updates tonight.
Great, thank you. City Manager Geyer?
2 updates. The first, I want to give kudos, thanks to all of you who expressed thanks for the holiday cheer. Specifically, provide kudos to Candace Marchese in Parks, Recreation, and Culture, and then the park staff and a lot of other helping hands here at City Hall who decorated the City Hall building. So thank you for all of those acknowledgments, but I specifically wanted to elevate Candace, who took care of all the logistics on that. Also, because he may not be at the next meeting, I'm not sure. I wanted to take a moment to recognize Brooke Savoda, our planning director, who has decided to move on to a new community, really return to a former community that he served at. He has served the city of Northglenn for 14 years, been a part of significant projects between capital construction projects, including this building, but also numerous planning sub-area plans, planning documents such as the UDO, which was a huge undertaking, as well as overseeing major development in the city. So wanted to extend a thank you on behalf of Northglenn to him. We will send out information in terms of any type of send-off we do for Brooke, but wanted to acknowledge him. Thank you.
Thank you. Would it be okay if I invited Brooke up? I wanted to say something as well, but I wasn't sure this was going to be your last meeting. It's not. It's not? Okay. Are you sure? Is it the last public meeting?
There's one more meeting next week, but I was thinking your item's pretty small, so you're probably going to try to get out of that one.
No, I'm here for until the 16th, and I'm actually here until the 16th for the code enforcement. So I want to make sure we see that first step through. So
well, since it's been spoken into the room, I think we should at least take a minute to honor that you have worked incredibly hard for the city of Northglenn. And I wanted to say thank you because I got that notification today and was shocked and a little sad about you leaving. But I also wanted to offer our appreciation. And if anybody else on council wants to join in, you certainly can, because you have done incredible work for the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Councilmember Walker.
Brooke, sad to see you go, but I just want to say, beyond all the obvious things that you've done for the city, you know, with this building, I'd say that some of the biggest help to me was like during contentious code issues, you had a way of making them very calm and very explainable to residents, even when I didn't understand them. So I appreciate your help in that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Jaramillo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Brooke, for your 14 years of serving the city of Northglenn. I want to say really thank you for the last year of working with me on a ADCOG Sub-Regional Transportation Forum and the North Area Transportation Alliance. Without you, I don't think it would have went as smoothly as it's going, and I think that, you know, having you in the room there too really helped because you're respected for what you do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Nowicki.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Brooke, I was shocked to find out as well, but congrats to you on your new endeavor. I just say I really appreciate your knowledge, your wisdom, you know, your 14 years of service to this city. You were always willing to kind of, you know, entertain my weird questions and, you know, help me understand things about.
Or no weird questions.
Yeah, help me understand all the things that goes into building and development and things like that. And I really appreciate that. So you will be missed here, around here.
Appreciate it.
Councilmember Goff.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, so I don't have time to prepare anything, but I want to say that I do remember one of the very first meetings I had with a department director was probably with you when I was first elected, and I had no idea what was going on or what I was doing, and you made things very clear and concise, and you were always answered questions. So, you will be missed. Thank you very much for your service. You know so much about the city, and you're so patient. I just really have to honor really all staff that has to deal with the changing leadership every 2 years or 4 years or whatever. And you've been kind of like a rock during that whole time, being able to be steady and explain things and remind us of the history. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Burns.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've been putting this off for 2 years, so I'll finally say thank you so much, Director Svoboda. I've avoided saying your last name publicly, so I will this evening. Thanks, Brooke. Appreciate everything. Like everyone has always said, like every council meeting, when you answer questions, every long Saturdays that we've spent together, you know, talking about the future of this city and everything that we would hope and dream, and you sometimes knock us back down, but then you always make up something that can happen. So I've really appreciated your knowledge and just, I don't know, like, you loved working here. At least I hope. That was the vibe I got,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
really appreciate that. Thank you.
Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Brooke, I'm going to miss you personally. It's been great. And I will just share this with you as well as the public. So obviously I represent the city and DRCOG, and your reputation within DRCOG and I think throughout the Denver metro area is well known. And that kind of professional reputation just does not materialize overnight. It's really years of work. And I have to also give you kudos for what you did with our sustainability coordinator, Mara Owens, who really played a key role, just to remind everybody here, on the grant application of the EPA to bring nearly $200 million to the Denver metro area for the decarbonization initiative. It's now called Power Ahead Colorado, PACO. Again, I think that your leadership and what you do to inspire others to do great things is really my takeaway from your time here, and I will very much miss that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have we embarrassed you enough yet, or should we keep going? We can do it one more round.
I will say, I didn't really prepare to say anything tonight. You know, this was unexpected, and the process that I just went through also was much faster than I had expected. I thought this was going to be a next year situation where I'd be in where we are today. But I do want to say just a few things that the success that you see and everything that you guys have mentioned and reflected on is really a testament not only to myself, but to the team, to the staff, the interdepartmental collaboration that has developed over the time that I've been here, the leadership with Heather Geyer and Jason Loveland. I mean, it really does take a village, and I think this organization, from when I started and to where we are today, is just an entirely different world. And I feel very honored to be a part of it, and I would also say that it's not often you get the opportunity to say that you're leaving something in a better way than when you started, but I truly feel not only that, but that there's really opportunity for so much more to happen. And I know that with the staff that we have, there's a lot of real talented people that will probably get more of an opportunity to shine now that I will be stepping aside. So I also look forward to that, and knowing that you guys are in good hands, and that there's also still a lot of positive things to happen. So thank you.
Well,
And
thank
you guys for everything, because we wouldn't be able to do what we do without your support.
Well, thank you for indulging us tonight, and we look forward to whatever celebration that we have planned.
Thank you so much.
So, thanks. Do we have anything from the city attorney's office?
You do not. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll tee up the financial report, the October 2025 update. Deputy City Manager Jason Loveland will present the update to council. Good evening.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. We'll go through this pretty quickly. I was just here 2 weeks ago talking about September, so. But we're 10 months through the year on this report. And I'll start off on just kind of going through the executive summary and touching on sales and use tax. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago that at this time through October, we're down 1.9% in sales and use tax. I did go back to look at where we were last year at this time, and we were up 5.5%. So seeing some changes for sure. Auto use tax is flattening out from where it was. It was down almost 7% last year. It's down like 0.6% now. So that's positive on the auto use side of things. Sales tax is down 2% at this time. Last year at this time it was up 7%. So kind of riding that wave of things going back and forth. Food tax is up 5.3%, and then marijuana tax is down 12.2%. That one is actually the only one that's kind of getting worse. It was down 7% last year. We'll go through each fund, and then we'll touch on page 11 of the report and take a look at the geographic codes related to sales and use tax. First fund I want to touch on is the general fund. Total revenues within the fund are at $29.6 million. This is a decrease from last year of 2.4%. Property taxes, charges for services, fines and forfeiture revenue is up. But again, we're seeing our biggest category, sales and use tax, down. So we are overall seeing a decrease in revenue within the fund. Expenditures in the fund are at $32.4 million, which accounts for 79% of the budget. At this point in time of the year, we're normally between 79 and 81%, so we're right on target regarding the spending of the general fund. Skipping ahead to the water fund, total revenues are at $12.6 million. This is a decrease of 1.1% compared to the prior year. We'll note that consumption is down 5.5% through October. Interestingly, last year at this time, consumption was up 18%. So I think that we remember that 2023 was a pretty wet year, 2024 rebounded, and now we're kind of getting some balancing, I would say, in 2025 of water consumption. Expenditures within the fund are at $7.1 million. If you take a look from the operational side, there's obviously some flexibility with the capital spending programs that we have. They don't all kind of happen in a perfect line, but on our operating expenditures, they're all in line with what we had planned for the budget. Next, the wastewater fund. Total revenues of $5.3 million, which is a slight increase, about 4.3% compared to the prior year. We've realized some increase from the rate increase and more system users. That's been offset by a reduction in tap fees since we don't have new building and new construction going on. As we've touched on within the water fund and the general fund, we're seeing impacts there that have an impact on revenues. Expenditures within the fund are at $2.9 million. Again, operating side of things on pace with what we expected. In the stormwater fund, total revenues of just over $400,000. This is basically flat compared to the prior year. We would expect that. Then expenditures of $386,000, which is about 50% of the appropriation. Again, in that fund, minimal operating expenses, so there can be a fair amount of variation depending on the capital or planning exercises that we're doing there. And then the last fund, the sanitation fund, total revenues of $1.6 million. This is relatively flat compared to the prior year. You'll see some reduction in like recycling revenue based off of commodity prices through October. Expenditures in the fund are at $2.4 million. That accounts for 75% of the appropriation. And we're seeing an increase in spending in that fund with actual receipt of our large orders for vehicles. So, any questions on the fund summaries? No? And then I will just skip ahead in the packet of information to page 11, which refers to the tax collected by a geographic code. This is kind of the this is the summary by area within the city and online or out of state tax collections. You'll see kind of in the middle that the percent change is 2.28% down compared to the prior year. If you remove the out of state, this is going to go back to the start of the meeting where we're supporting local and supporting small businesses. Kind of the brick and mortar of the city are down 6.4% through October's reporting, which is really sales through September. So go support small businesses, please. And like I said, the online sales continue to grow. They're up 12% through the year. So spending is still happening, just in different locations. With that, happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Councilmember Goff.
Thank you, Mayor. My question has to do with Washington East, which is one of the few places that's doing well. And I just was curious. I remember going to a ribbon cutting to some kind of an auto detailing store for like luxury autos. And I think it's in that area. And I was just wondering, it's not listed, but is that in that area? And might that be contributing?
So Washington East, yes, includes that. So it's the Walgreens just kind of on the corner right there. The new gas station that's there also has an impact.
The gas station? Well, okay, well, there was a...
But there is a name.
There is a
Custom.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Just wanted to kind of clarify in my mind, because trying to figure out, like what's doing well, how can we support other places to do better and that kind of thing. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On that point, I'm just kind of intrigued. I think it's kind of the gasoline station effect, if you will, for Washington East and Eastlake. I'm curious for Huron Crossing, just off of Delaware Street. Is there a gasoline station also in that area? I think there's a Conoco, or does that fall in Westie's area?
The Conoco is at Northglenn.
It is Northglenn. Okay.
Or is it 7-Eleven now?
Yep.
So some of the impact where we're seeing some fluctuations is new business, not necessarily the same business.
Okay.
So some of the newer development or newer construction is having an impact on those things.
Gotcha. So maybe a novelty factor is what you're suggesting then, as opposed to possibly it's just gasoline stations in general generating revenue.
I would agree with your point on the newness.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Councilmember Nowicki.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for being here, Director Loveland. Usually kind of give this statistic, but when you factor out the online sales, how much is How much is sales tax down?
Oh, excluding the online, it
Yeah.
would be down 6.4%.
Okay. That's my only question. Thank you.
Thank you. We don't have any questions anymore. Thank you. All right, the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion
So-
to approve.
Second.
Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I will close that vote, and the consent agenda passes unanimously.
Okay, moving on to ordinances on first reading, CB 2034. Will the clerk please read the title?
A bill for a special ordinance amending the 2025 budget, recognizing revenues and appropriating expenditures by supplemental appropriation for the payment of the costs and expenses of the municipal government, agencies, and offices of the City of Northglenn, Colorado for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2025.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Deputy City Manager Jason Levlin will provide a summary. Hi.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. So this is, again, an amendment to the 2025 budget based off of unexpected expenditures or just future planning. So I'm going to walk through quickly the chart just so everyone is aware of kind of what's happening with that. So the first chart, we're referring to the general fund. There's a line that's referred to as ARPA revenue. That is just a reallocation of the budget from the general fund revenue, which we had initially had during the 2025 budget process, and allocating that to capital projects, a small amount, and to the water fund. Really just realigning the revenue to where the expenditures were happening. This is specifically to the chemical building project. When we were going through the process of the budget, we didn't necessarily have those revenues matched up where the expenditures are, so it's just an administrative cleanup item. The next line refers to the court and their bail grants. We're bumping that up, that expenditure, $40,000. The board met and actually allocated more money than they have been historically. And so they have a balance of about $150,000. Normally or more recently, they have been allocating $30,000 to $60,000. This year it's pushing closer to 100. So we're going to allocate those budget dollars from their reserve into the expenses. The third item on the planning side, a duplicate appropriation. We had budgeted for the purchase order carryover and then also budgeted for the purchase order carry forward. So we're just reducing that budget in the planning department by $180,000 for an administrative cleanup. The next few are police-related items, TI simulation training. That was approved by council on June 23rd out of the police forfeiture funds that we received. So we approved the expenditure. That increases the amount we're spending from that reserve balance. We just want to true that up so that the budget allows for that increased expenditure of $136,400. The next item, the Axon Records Management System, that contract for about $1.5 million was approved at the end of in December 2024. We had already finished the budget process at that point. So that $119,697 is the first year payment for that system. Again, already approved, but that was not included in the budget since it occurred after the development of the budget. The next item, the fingerprint machines, this actually came up just a couple of months ago. They're no longer supporting the fingerprint machines at the police department. So determined that that would probably be a necessary expense to incur as soon as possible. So the $41,966 was approved and the purchases are being made, but that wasn't a line item that was budgeted. So we're just, again, truing up that expenditure at this time. Last item, of vehicle replacement of just over $52,000. That is just it's a replacement of a vehicle that has been totaled. So we are truing that budget line up as well. Moving to the capital projects, I talked about the ARPA revenue. The next item is the NERA contribution to the Civic Campus. We're just going to recognize that we'll receive revenue from NERA for the demolition of City Hall. That should happen in 2025. So while we're making an amendment to the budget, we're going to clean that up so that when we get audited later, somebody doesn't say, where did this $500,000 come from? Well, we know about it, so we're going to document it through this process. And then last item, a $5.7 million transfer from the water fund to the wastewater fund. This was something that we talked about during the 2026 budget development regarding the food for home consumption revenue that's restricted for water and wastewater capital projects. Since they're two separate funds, we've been recording and collecting in the water fund. So now that we know we have a very large project coming forward in the wastewater, wastewater fund, excuse me, we're going to do that transfer of $5.7 million in 2025 to tee us up for success when our bonding efforts go forward in 2026. We'll be able to show that reserve balance in the fund. So that was a lot of detail. Hopefully it was helpful. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Councilmember Walker.
Director Levin, I just have a question on the vehicle replacement. Does that include the cost of, are we still sending those out of state to be upfitted and everything? Or is that just the vehicle?
That is just the vehicle. And no, I learned that we are not sending them out of state anymore.
Good.
The turnaround is like 3 to 4 weeks now.
Awesome, glad to hear that.
Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Deputy City Manager, for answering my email question earlier today about the ARPA line item. I am just curious, though, is this pretty much the last of what we're going to see in regards to ARPA-related transactions in this year, in 2025?
2025, yes. So then in 2026, we'll have really probably that $651,000 for the chemical building transactions for as far as the expense side happen. So we do have that money to spend in 2026.
And then just for clarity for the public, so obviously when you look at page 2 of the memo, it shows that basically instead of talking about a $19 million reduction in fund balance, now we're looking at about an 18.7, 18.8. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we are being very judicious with our spending, it looks like, such that the draw on fund balance is a little bit lower than originally projected. Am I characterizing that correctly?
That is true, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I will close that vote, and CB 2034 on first reading passes unanimously.
Moving to resolutions, CR 111. Will the clerk please read the title?
A resolution granting an easement to Public Service Company of Colorado for the provision of electric service to the Aquifer Storage and Recovery Facility and the Parks Storage Facility at Northwest Open Space.
Move for approval.
Seconded.
All right, Director of Planning and Development, Brooks Svoboda, is here to provide a summary of this item.
So this is one of those easy items because we're having the city grant an easement for 2 projects that have been underway for some time. So helping out with the public works staff to help get this one across the line. And so we're just looking for approval to grant the easement.
Any questions or comments? Nope. All right, please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I will close that vote, and CR 111 passes unanimously.
So I do want posthumously to have added to the record that that was probably a world record for the planning director for agenda items. So.
That is true. That is true.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. CR 116. Will the clerk please read the title?
A resolution distributing funding to outside agencies in accordance with the recommendations of the City of Northglenn Outside Agency Funding Committee.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, City Clerk Joanna Small will introduce this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Outside Agency Funding Committee is authorized to coordinate a grant program with the City Clerk's Office, and this is for the purpose of funding nonprofit organizations that provide services that directly benefit the well-being of Northglenn residents. The 2025 budget includes $25,000 for the grant program. Applications were solicited from nonprofits during the month of October. 11 agencies submitted applications requesting a total of $91,000. Council members Jaramillo, Kondo, and Nowicki serve on the Outside Agency Funding Committee, and they had the difficult job of reviewing all of the applications. And I would like to hand it over to Councilmember Jaramillo to provide the committee's funding recommendations.
Thank you, City Clerk Small. The recommended grant awards that we have are for the organizations following: Good Shepherd Food Bank for $5,000, Immaculate Heart of Mary Food Bank for $5,000, the 5-Star Education Foundation for $5,000, A Precious Child for $2,000, and CASA of Adams and Broomfield counties for $2,000. Also, Crossroads Community Center for $2,000, Early Childhood Partnership of Adams County for $2,000, and also a very unique organization I just learned of, the Community Tattoo Removal Project for $2,000, and for a total of $25,000 in grant funding. And if you have any other questions, open to them now. Thank you.
Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't want to necessarily pat ourselves on the back, but I do want to give Councilmember Nowicki props because he came up with a framework which allowed us to judge the 11 entrants on 5 different dimensions, and that process, as well as our city clerk and how she tallied and kept everything, all of our votes organized so that we could kind of figure out where everything fell out in terms of a distribution order. I thought that process went really well. And in general, I thought it was also very, the outcome was very much in line with our strategic priorities and values as a city. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I will close that vote, and CR 116 passes unanimously.
CR 121. Will the clerk please read the title?
A resolution pursuant to the requirements of Section 3-1-4, Parent D of the Northglenn Municipal Code, setting a public hearing for Councilman's Bill 2034, Series of 2025.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
All right, City Clerk Small will provide a summary of this item.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the municipal code outlines the process for adopting ordinances, and it requires that a public hearing be held on a proposed ordinance at the next regular city council meeting, unless an alternate date is set by resolution. Since the December 8th, 2025 council meeting will be used for the organizational meeting of city council, staff has prepared CR 21, which would set a public hearing on CB 2034, which was just passed on first reading a couple minutes ago, to be held at the special city council meeting on December 1st, 2025. So staff is happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. I will close that vote, and CR 121 passes unanimously.
Thank you. Discussion item tonight, the draft 2026 State Legislative Issues Guide. City Manager Guyer will present this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you is a copy of the draft 2026 Legislative Issues Guide along with a federal advocacy insert. Different this year in terms of content, I'd like to highlight that not only do we always update the What's New in Northglenn section, but per the committee request, we added an artificial intelligence section, and then everything else is just updated as normal. So open to any questions, concerns, comments about the content. These documents have been reviewed by the legislative committee. The hope is to get any feedback this evening, then bring both of these documents back before you on December 1st for official approval. And then we'll print these documents to have on hand at our January 5th annual legislative dinner.
Councilmember Nowicki?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Boy, am I glad you put that AI piece in there, because AI was all over NLC, so that's the hot thing right now. No, I think it all looks really great. I think the format is really well laid out. So just kudos to you and the staff who put this together.
Kudos to John Eisel, who's taking video
Kudos, John.
tonight. John is the mastermind behind the design of both of those publications, so thanks to John.
Councilmember Burns?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This looks awesome. We're very excited about this. Just sort of like piggybacking off of NLC are one-pagers that are similar to this that we hand out at events like NLC and CML. Always a huge hit. We always get compliments, and they're always like, I'm using this as an example. This is everything I've wanted from my comms team, and I want to bring it back. So I don't really know how much people actually read them, but they use them as examples, which I think...
Came back with 0 on hand.
No, not that many. Shannon had them for a while. We may have forgotten to carry them a few days. But I just want to say thank you, because this forward thinking of this, just like having this document is always so helpful. And we even hear how helpful it is. Like when we go to the CML Legislative Day, I think like, this is great. Love it. Looks great. Thank you so much, John. Just make sure you put that in the recap, the special thanks to you too.
Councilmember Kondo?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And same as what Councilmember Burns said, I was actually in a breakout with Mayor Jen Coleman and made a point of making sure that she received a copy. And she appreciated that greatly. So thank you, staff. All joking aside, I do have 2 comments about this draft document. One, you have our faces and contact information on pages 12 and 15, and I think it's a little bit redundant, and if you needed more white space or more room for content, I would recommend that it's possible to dispense with one of the 2, because the information is pretty much the same.
Councilmember Kondo, I didn't get a chance to respond with this earlier today. Thank you for your email. They're 2 different documents. So
Are they? Okay.
You want them on both documents.
So you're saying...
Because you can hand out the insert separate from the guide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attachment 2.
Yeah.
Noted. Thank you.
The color changes.
Okay. So disregard that comment. I do have one other comment, and that would be on page 10. Towards the very bottom. The diverse and engaged community. First bullet point there, where it says the DICE board, the name is the mission as it continues to influence decision-making in the city. I kind of have an issue with the word influence. I think they advise council's decision-making. They don't influence council and our how we go about administering or running the city. They really are an advisory capacity. So that is the one word that I would like to see changed. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Goff?
Thank you, Mayor. I was just going to give lots of praise for this document. I do like the federal advocacy piece that was added on there. I think that's a great idea. I know sometimes residents or citizens of whatever organization or community would wonder why someone's reaching that far out, but we are affected by what happens at the federal level. And so I think it is important for us to, like not spend a lot of time and energy on it, but to certainly try to have our voice heard in that area. And I'm not really sure quite how to respond to the comment about the diversity board. I don't know what other verb you would use. I mean, it almost seems like advising is more active. I mean, I don't know. If you want to wordsmith that one, that's fine with me. I did want to just point out, I really do like that, right? We've got everything we need for the Odell Berry Park. That's highlighted right at the beginning. That makes me very excited to see that maybe ground will be broken this coming year. And the Northglenn at a glance section is always really helpful because it's just so easy to look at and read. And sometimes I do get people asking me, so what's the population? What's the ethnicity breakout for your community, that kind of thing. So great work. Love the document. Good job.
Councilmember Walker?
Ms. Heather, the guide looks great, but I support Councilmember Condo's recommendation.
So it sounds like that's a point that we may need to get all of council to weigh in on. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it. For those that are wondering, it's on page 9, page 10 of the packet. For the city's 11-person Diversity, Inclusivity, and Social Equity Board, the name is the mission as it continues to influence decision-making in the city. So Councilmember Condo, you're saying you want it to say advise instead of influence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm on board with leaving it as influence, so we need everyone else to weigh in. We'll start with Councilmember Burns.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I mean, I think to influence decision-making, I think versus advise, I don't know, can someone thesaurus that real quick? Thanks, Jay. Similar words to influence, impact, control, sway. A verb is to affect, determine, guide.
And then another one that was advise.
Advise, yeah.
You brought up advise, you said advise.
An old-timey word.
Well, you advise the city, you don't advise decision. That's one of my problems. It's just the actual grammar doesn't work.
The board is
true.
an advisory board to city council.
You could just, it continues to be an advisory board.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that, like the
I'm fine
11
with the way it is, but.
is an advisory board. As it continue, I don't know. Whatever,
There's recommend, there's.
I don't think recommends is right either.
Well, I was just trying to see if we have every other board highlighted in this document. CCPP is in here, doesn't really talk about what they do. They're talking about shaping policy. I think the Parks and Rec Board does way more than influence. Planning Commission, I don't know, I'm not quite sure why we're wordsmithing one word out of this 10-page document, or 15, however many pages it is, especially because I believe this has already been distributed at NLC.
No, we had we
just had a
yeah.
piece of it. So
It
this
was a
is,
different info sheet for NLC.
this is
It was
teeing
not
us
this
up.
document.
This is
for-
teaming us for the ledge session.
Okay. Well, when I consider the purpose of this document and who it's going to, they're not going to see that. So I would much rather, instead of going to the thesaurus and trying to come up with 7 different words we want to vote on, I think we need to make a decision. So if influence is not the word, I heard a proposal for advise.
I would be okay if it was, as you just said for CCPP, shape decision-making.
So now we have a third choice.
Am I making life hard? If
Well,
so,
I
then
mean,
I
and
will stick with
Councilmember
advice
Burns
then.
listed a whole bunch, and Councilmember Jaramillo has a whole list. So we need to make a decision. I mean, my vote is leave it as it is. It's fine. I mean, all these words mean essentially the same thing. I think we're way in the weeds on this issue, but if we have a proposal, let's hear it.
I am proposing that the word influence be exchanged with the word advice.
Great, that's what I heard. Councilmember Burns, where do you sit on that?
I don't know. I have a lot of feelings bubbling about this. I don't know if it just feels weird that we're nitpicking this one specifically in a guide that is all about policy making at this moment. Feels yuck. I'm just gonna keep it $1.50 with you. A buck, but $1.50. Like I'm just, and so that's my immediate gut reaction. I don't think changing. I think like changing the word feels more than it is. And so I don't want that to like cloud my feelings because I'm fine with advise, I'm fine with shade. Like the words I don't care. It's the context behind this change that feels off to me.
Councilmember Jaramillo?
Advise sounds good to me.
Councilmember Nowicki?
I'm okay with influence. Just keep it simple.
So I have 3 for influence, 3 for advise. Councilmember Burns, can you make a choice?
I really hate this team. I really hate that we're actually doing this right now.
Me too.
So you know what? We're going to leave it influence.
Great. All right, any other comments or questions for City Manager Guyer?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, finally, public invited to be heard. This is an opportunity for public comment. Statements are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Comments must be related to an item previously addressed by council during the meeting. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to council at this time? Okay. Hearing none, there being no further business, we are adjourned.